The World Snooker semi-finals continue over on BBC One now, and you can catch the evening session live here on BBC Two and the BBC HD channel from 7 o'clock. But right now, it's final score.
West Ham United 0.
Trying to avoid relegation.
He was one of the heroes of the afternoon.
Applause from the away supporters. Go!
The latest score is Wimbledon. Go through to the Premier.
John Terry's tears, we all remember. It was 2 crucial weeks.
Good afternoon. Welcome to Final Score for all the last day drama in Leagues 1 and 2 for you this afternoon. There's promotion to be won and the dreaded trapdoor of doom to be avoided. With me today, two men who've enjoyed an open bus tour or two in their time, and they've also cried those salty tears of disappointment, possibly. Steve Claridge and Michael Gray are in the Final Score studio this afternoon. Well, let's have a quick look before we get cracking on the results already in today. The only game in the Premier League today saw Arsenal draw 3-3 with Norwich. Drama galore at the Emirates, where Steve Morrison's 85th minute effort denied Arsenal 3 crucial points, remember, in their chase for the Champions League spots next season. Robin van Persie had earlier equalised and equalled Thierry Henry's Arsenal record of 30 goals in a Premier League season with a late double in that game that had absolutely everything. And also in the SPL, the early kick-off finished in a goalless draw at Ibrox between Rangers and Motherwell. Rangers' financial problems mean that third-place Motherwell will go into the qualifying round of the Champions League next season. Let's have a look at League One now for you, where there are some huge games this afternoon. We're going to pick out Exeter against Sheffield United. Sheffield United need to better their rivals' Wednesday's result to have any hope of going up. They were trailing. They're down to 10 men as well. James Beattie's been sent off. They now lead 2-1 at St James's Park. But big news in Sheffield as it's Sheffield Wednesday are leading Wycombe by 2-0 and look comfortable as well. Mikel Antonio and Niall Ranger have steadied the nerves at Hillsborough. 38,000 fans there today. The Owls will be promoted if they win. And also Stevenage against Bury. Craig Reed's goal for Stevenage has put them on course for the playoffs. 2-0 up now, and pressure on them if they do slip up, but they look very tidy this afternoon. Let's slip into League 2, where again issues to be resolved, including who's going to drop out of the Football League this season. Crawley have just scored. Scott Nielsen has put them ahead. They will go up if they can hang on. That's 2 straight promotions for Crawley if they can do it. Burton 1, Barnet 2. Barnet lead and will stay once again in League 2 if they can claim all 3 points today. Hereford 3, Torquay 2. Hereford were 3-0 up, but promotion-chasing Torquay have set up a grandstand finish there. The Bulls will go down if Barnet better their result. It's currently Hereford in the relegation spot and Barnet just above them. And also Southend chasing promotion against Macclesfield. Peter Gilbert has Southend on target for 3 points. That's only if Crawley slip up, though, at the moment. Right, let's go off to Hillsborough. We mentioned a packed Hillsborough this afternoon, where Damien Johnson is watching Sheffield Wednesday against Wycombe.
Yes, Dan, a promotion party is about to get underway here at Hillsborough because Sheffield Wednesday lead by 2-0, making the result at Exeter immaterial. Mikel Antonio got the first in the first half, just puncturing some of the tension around Hillsborough early doors. Niall Ranger, unmarked with a header, got the second after the break. Just amends, really, because Rangers was denied what looked a perfectly good goal, ruled out for offside in the first half. A huge crowd of 38,082 here, preparing to celebrate to return to the Championship. 15 minutes remaining. The champagne's on ice.
And don't forget it's Sheffield United who are hoping that everything goes horribly wrong at Hillsborough. Not at the moment, but they are playing Exeter away today, and Hamish Marshall has made the trip to St James's Park.
Yeah, Sheffield United winning by 2-1. They're doing their bit, but as we've been saying, promotion was always outside their own hands today. They've done it the hard way here. Alan Gow's classy finish put the relegated side in front, and then James Beattie was sent off for a rash tackle. However, goals either side of half-time from Lee Williamson and Kevin McDonald's deflected effort have put the Blades in front, but barring a major reverse at Hillsborough, it's going to be the playoffs for Danny Wilson's side.
Thank you, Hamish. Let's have a look then, confirmed by our two reporters there, of what the situation looks like at the top of League One at the moment. Charlton, we know, are champions and already promoted. Sheffield Wednesday, as it stands, will go up from League One back into the Championship, and Sheffield United will be in the playoffs, along with Stevenage, who will hold their position. They're currently winning this afternoon 1-0 at home to Bury. Let's go into League Two now, where Crawley knew if they won at Accrington, they would go up into League One next season. Let's go to James Mason, who's got the details on this one for us.
Thank you, Dan. Accrington, Stanley 0. Crawley Town 1. A goal from Scott Nielsen could yet prove to be the most important in Crawley's short Football League history. The winger turning inside the box before firing past Ian Dunbaving midway through the second half. After a goalless, nervy first half, the visitors have dominated the second, but their goalkeeper Scott Shearer for a string of saves. John Akinde hitting the bar for Crawley prior to Nielsen's all-important strikers as Accrington come close down. I'm sure it's going to be nervous for you, as for every other Crawley fan at the moment. They lead 1-0.
I'm trying to hide my Crawley leads at the moment, but it's a little bit difficult. Right, now, Southend were in the box seat in League Two until Scott Nielsen scored a few moments ago. Southend against Macclesfield, already relegated into non-league football. John Anderson's at Roots Hall today.
Yes, that Crawley goal at Accrington has completely destroyed the atmosphere at Roots Hall, where they were, fingers crossed, a while ago, leading by a goal to nil. Scored in the 24th minute by their left-back Peter Gilbert, connecting on the end of a Ryan Hall corner and driving a side-foot volley into the corner. In truth, Southend could be 3, 4 or 5 up. Jose Vega has been inspired in the Macclesfield goal. They simply can't get it past him in the second half, but at the moment they are simply praying that Accrington can do them a huge favour. Southend 1, Macclesfield 0.
Now, Hereford's game with Torquay was potentially large for both sides. It looks as though it might end miserably for both sides, though. Let's go to Edgar Street. Jason Mohammed is watching the goals flying in this afternoon.
Well, Dan, at precisely 4:20 this afternoon, the mood changed dramatically at a rammed Edgar Street. Hereford United were 3-1 up thanks to goals from Delroy Facey, a Harry Powell penalty and Rob Purdy. The fans were singing, "We are staying up." Then Torquay United made it 3-2 when Taiwo Ateneo scored. Within seconds, news filtered through of Mark Hughes' goal for Barnet. So despite what's been a very brave performance from Richard O'Kelly's Hereford United, they are going down as it stands. Torquay United will be in the playoffs. Hereford United 3, Torquay United 2.
Thanks, Jason, who mentioned Barnet there and the goal from Mark Hughes. Let's find out all about that, because once again it looks as though Barnet, for the 5th time in 7 seasons, for the 3rd season on the trot, might just be escaping. Ivan Gaskell is at the Pirelli Stadium for their match with Burton this afternoon.
We've had an absolutely frantic afternoon here. We're inside the last quarter of an hour. It's real harem-scarum stuff. Martin Allen, the Barnet manager, appears on the verge of self-combustion at any moment. Mark Byrne and Mark Hughes have scored those all-important Barnet goals. Barnet had taken the lead early on. Burton equalised through a fine strike by Magoma. But this game turned just before the break when Calvin Zola was pushed in the box, went down, dusted himself down, insisted on taking the penalty and promptly smashed it into the roof of the stand. Missed it by a mile, and at the moment Barnet are staying up.
Well, let's have a look at the way it stands then at the bottom of League Two. As Ivan was telling us there, at the moment it's Barnet that stay up once again miraculously, despite that goal difference of -27 at the moment. Macclesfield, we know, already relegated and winning this afternoon after beating Crawley as well 3-0 away from home last week. It still looks as though it might not be enough for Hereford United, who at the moment will be going down this season. Gents, we're keeping a close eye on plenty of games this afternoon. It's fascinating to watch, but there's so much at stake, Steve, for so many teams at the moment. And let's start with the top of League One, where it's been that Steel City straight shootout for a few weeks. And you've got to say, credit to Sheffield Wednesday and Dave Jones, because it looks as though they're going to do it.
Yes, and let's be honest, we've watched the game. It's never looked in any sort of doubt, has it? They've gone there. They've been on the front foot from the start. As you would imagine, 38,000 people urging you on against a side who was already relegated. On the face of it, they were going to be too good. The players are better, obviously, than the opposition, and that's exactly the way it's panned out. So they've done a very, very professional job today.
But from a Sheffield United point, I know I should really talk to you about Sheffield Wednesday, but I'm going to make you talk about Sheffield United, even though you finished your career at Hillsborough. From a Sheffield United point of view, they're winning today. They're down to 10 men as well. So, as Steve was saying before we came on air, at least that would give them some hope going into the playoff situation.
Well, that's right, Dan. It's momentum taking you into the playoffs, and that's the way it's looking at the moment, obviously, with Sheffield Wednesday in front and in charge of the position that they're in. Sheffield United, if they come off the back of a win here, going into the playoffs, a little bit of confidence behind them, that might push them on to the final in the playoffs and give them the opportunity then to get into the Championship.
they've got to know that they can win without Ched Evans. You know, that is something vitally important, you know, and psychologically it's a barrier that they've got to get over. But also, they'll be the side that go into the playoffs with a slight negative. You know, the playoffs to them will be a negative. Everybody else knows that they're in the playoffs. So they've got to get over that. And the best way to do that is to go in there with a win.
Games.
Crew have just scored Luke Murphy, so it looks as though that will cement them the playoff spot in League Two at the moment. Bottom of League Two, Steve, a line on Barnet, because
Incredible.
Martin Allen's gone back. They won 4-0 a few weeks ago, and it looks as though, unbelievably again, they will escape on the final day.
Yeah, and let's be honest, they've had to win. They've had to win these two games, because we looked at Hereford. I did the Football League show 3 weeks ago, and to be fair, Crawley away and Torquay at home, you're thinking...
Game over, yeah.
Well, that's going to be really tough. They've actually, if they carry on, if the results stay the same, they've won those 2 games. Yet Barnet, as we said, they got beat 3-0 under Martin first game, won last week, and have had to go to Burton and have had to win that game to stay up. So, unbelievable scenes, Dan.
We've had 5 goals at Hereford so far this afternoon. 6 goals, though, earlier on at the Emirates for Arsenal against Norwich. It was one of those standout games in the Premier League. Norwich, brilliant again. Arsenal, frustrated again. Here's the full-time report from Martin Fisher.
It might be the Europa League for Arsenal now after a thriller at the Emirates as they came from behind to lead, only to throw away 2 vital points with just 5 minutes left. It had all started so well. Birthday boy Yossi Benayoun scoring inside 70 seconds. Norwich responded boldly and were soon in front through Houlihan and Holt. Arsenal improved after the break, but chances went begging before Robin van Persie found the target with a sumptuous volley. 10 minutes from time he got another to put Arsenal in front and match Thierry Henry's record of 30 Premier League goals in a season in the process. Job done, we thought, but not so, as Steve Morrison took advantage of more hesitant Gunners defending to make it 3-3. Still time for more controversy. Robin van Persie, 3 yards out, with a goal at his mercy, pushed to the floor by Kyle Norton. No penalty, said the referee. Arsene Wenger is not a happy man.
You can see the best bits from that on Match of the Day tomorrow. This is how it affects the top of the Barclays Premier League, though. Obviously, the 2 Manchester clubs there. Arsenal up to 67, but look at the way that will inspire Spurs and Newcastle, who have still a game over Arsenal as they go into their final 2 matches of the season. And, Michael, what a time for Arsenal to drop points. And we were watching that game earlier, and the holes at the back of their defence, when they got to 3-2, they think, just hold on. Yeah. And then Steve Morrison goes through and makes it 3-3.
Well, that's it. And I think off air, me and Steve were looking at the 2 centre-halves of Arsenal. They were just so far apart. You know, it was so easy for Morrison to get in there. And to be fair to him, it was a great finish. But you have to question Arsenal. That's 3 goals they've conceded at home when they're trying to push to stay in that 3rd position. And they've made it so difficult for themselves now.
And what an afternoon for Spurs and Newcastle. I mean, I know they've got huge games to come. Spurs, you look, Villa and Fulham, but the door is open for them now.
It certainly is. I mean, these we're looking at it and thinking, you know, not 4th at best, but we're going to need a little bit of luck here for Arsenal to slip up. It's not in our hands. It's exactly what they've done, as you say. They've opened the door now. I think it's typical of the Premiership, Arsenal's performance. You know, we're not talking about a Premiership that has had, shall we say, the highest quality Premiership. But if we're talking about excitement and, you know, and just raw emotion and things that have happened that have kept your interest right to the very end, then this has been the year, hasn't it?
A line on Arsenal's French defender Bakary Sagna, by the way. He'll miss the European Championships after breaking his fibula against Norwich today. A 29-year-old was carried from the field after falling to the ground unchallenged in the 33rd minute. You know, this is a time where players they're trying to protect themselves, aren't they? They're not wanting to miss out on a major championships, and it's terrible news for him because he would have been a big part of that French side who've got a very good chance of doing well this summer.
Yeah, of course. What it is, it's a sad shame and it's unfortunate. I mean, he's obviously went out there to do his best today. Nobody around him. It's just again, Dan, it's one of those freak accidents, and it's just unfortunate.
Second time this season as well. He's broken his leg, so you know it's not been a good season for Bakary Sagna. Also, some news on the FA Cup final, which starts in around half an hour's time. Didier Drogba will lead the line for Chelsea in the Cup final, while Salomon Kalou also starts ahead of Fernando Torres, despite the goals he's been scoring recently. He's on the bench. For Liverpool, it's Craig Bellamy who gets the nod. Andy Carroll is on the subs bench. Jamie Carragher misses out as well. Daniel Agger and Martin Skirtle, who've been playing well this season, are the partnership in the central defence. Right, we're going to go and see there's still some playoff spaces to be decided. Let's go to Stevenage against Bury, and Tony Lockwood is at Broadhall today.
Just 2 minutes remaining here of normal time, and Stevenage on course for a top 6 finish, the chance of a third straight promotion, which would be an extraordinary achievement. They lead Barry by 2-0. Craig Reed marking his return to the first team with a highly significant goal just past the midway point of the first half, Dan, and then Robin Shroot, as Stevenage substitute, brought down inside the penalty area. Highly contentious spot kick. Joel Byram stepped up to steer the ball into the bottom corner, and Stevenage are doing what is required of them. A minute of normal time left. They lead Barry by 2-0.
Well, looking good for Stevenage at the moment. That's in League One. In League Two, Crewe could possibly, well, they look like they are going to cement that playoff place, the last playoff place in League Two. It's Crewe against Aldershot today. Depends on what Oxford do as well, of course. Steve Lee's at Gresty Road.
Yes, Crewe 2, Aldershot 2, about 8 minutes to go. And Crewe needed a point to be absolutely certain of a playoff place here. And at the moment, they're getting it. And the score from Port Vale and Oxford seems to suggest that Oxford won't be able to catch them. Luke Murphy, after 76 minutes, has just eased the nerves at Gresty Road with a shot from just outside the box. You could feel the tension lift from this ground. Leach Smith had put Crewe ahead after only 4 minutes. Harry Davies' own goal and a 25-yard cracker from sub Mark Mosley had put Aldershot into a 2-1 lead. But Luke Murphy has levelled things 2-2, and that's just right for Crewe. They're going to get that last playoff position. 2-2.
All right, let's find out how Crawley are getting on. Remember, if they win, they go up and they'll be playing in League One next season. They're away at Accrington, and James Mason is keeping a close eye on things.
And they're still leading, Dan, leading through Scott Nielsen's second-half strike. The winger's goal answering the prayers of 631 travelling fans from West Sussex, although it's going to be an agonising last 10 minutes, well, 5 minutes or so. They're looking nervy in these final few minutes now. You mentioned they'll be playing in League One if they hold on. So that's trips to Coventry, Preston and Oldham, and who knows, Sheffield United if they don't go up and Oldham. Who knows? It's Accrington Stanley 0, Crawley Town 1 still.
Get me a little bit excited there, James. Steady on. So Crawley are possibly leaving League One, Barnet League Two. Barnet desperate to stay in League Two, and they're hanging on as well, Ivan Gaskell.
Yes, they are, but I have to tell you, Martin Allen, their manager on the side, has gone through absolute agonies. He's kicked every ball this afternoon. I have serious fears for his well-being, frankly. 5 minutes to go. This game has seen all sorts. We've had a missed penalty, glaring misses, huge penalty shouts waved away. Barnet thought they should have had at least 2. The important statistics, though, are that it's Burton 1, Barnet 2. They've got 4.5 minutes, though, in fairness, Barnet are putting the pressure on, and Burton look like they've gone on their holidays. Burton 1, Barnet 2.
Well, at the moment, Torquay are going to stay in the playoff places in League Two. They will not be getting automatic promotion, but it could end as heartbreak for Hereford. I'm sure they're listening into their radios at Edgar Street this afternoon. We can get an update, though, from Jason Mohammed.
There's a chap just away from me, Dan. He's got his radio to his ear. There's an air of resignation, I have to say, here at Edgar Street. So much hope going into this game. Richard O'Kelly, his team have been heroes. They've played so well against a Torquay United side who had hopes of automatic promotion before kick-off. They look like they're destined for the playoffs. Hereford United look like they're destined to go out of the Football League. We've had fisticuffs just a few moments ago between Byron Anthony, the Hereford United defender, and Lee Mansell, Torquay United's captain. That just goes to show how tense it is here at Edgar Street. It's 3-2, Dan.
All right, it's probably not so tense at Hillsborough, where they've got that 2-goal cushion. Let's find out if the band are in full swing yet. Damien Johnson, 2-0 up against Wycombe.
Yeah, everyone's on their feet. The Wednesday manager, Dave Jones, who's overseen his 12th unbeaten game as Wednesday manager, just had a rather nice hug and a cuddle from Gary Waddock, the Wycombe manager. Very magnanimous in defeat, given that Wycombe are heading for League Two. It would have been more than 2-0 if Nicky Bull hadn't been in fine form between the sticks for Wycombe. He's pulled off 2 fantastic saves to deny Wednesday. But we're just moments away now for a return to the Championship for Sheffield United. And there's a party underway already.
Sheffield Wednesday, you mean, Damien? I'm sure there's a few Blades fans who are a bit excited at that, but it's Sheffield Wednesday who'll be going up into the Championship. I spoke to my Uncle Terry yesterday, who's a big Sheffield Wednesday fan. I told him not to worry, and it seems to have worked out for him. Let's talk about Crawley, though, in League Two, because they came up from non-league football last season. It looks as though they're going to go 2 straight promotions. I mean, and they lost their manager a few weeks ago, went to Rotherham. I mean, it's a remarkable story, isn't it?
It's very much a remarkable story, and lost Tubbs and Barnet as well at a time when they were actually looked as if they were cruising. So they've had a few ups and downs, but if it all ends like it looks like it's going to, as you say, it's a meteoric rise, isn't it?
And Stevenage have scored again, Chris Beardsley. That means full-time, in fact, at Stevenage. So Stevenage 3, Bury 0, which means Stevenage have secured that promotion spot in League One, the last promotion spot. And at this stage of the season, Michael, what's the sort of mindset from players when they know that they're certain of that playoff spot? Because you can't switch off, as some players will when the season's over. If you're mid-table or you're going up or you're going down, you've still got to stay on it, haven't you, for a few more weeks?
Exactly right. Stay professional, stay focused. And like we mentioned, Steve and I mentioned before, about going into the playoffs with a win behind you, like Sheffield United are doing it themselves at the moment. You've got to take that momentum and see where it takes you. And again, it's that confidence thing, you know. You've got those 2 legs each, and then you've got to try and get to the final, and then you know what's at the end of that.
I think as well, what is massively important, having been through the playoffs on many occasions, is not to think yourself, worry about what might happen, because you can think yourself tired. You can go into those games and you've used up so much mental energy. You're actually physically, you're almost drained. So you've got to keep sort of a reality check on what you've got, even though it's massive, the rewards.
Full-time at Hillsborough. We can go to hear from Damien Johnson, and the great news from a Sheffield Wednesday perspective, Damien, that the club are back in the Championship after securing promotion today.
Absolutely, joy unbounded. Many people invaded the pitch and now carrying the players to the tunnel. 2-year absence from the Championship, as you say. All they had to do was equal or better neighbours, rivals Sheffield United's result down at Exeter. Goals from Michael Antonio and Niall Ranger ensured that. Antonio's scuff finish after the ball broke in the area in the first half. Ranger a free header from Chris Lyne's second half ball in. Ranger had earlier had a good goal ruled out for offside. Wickham relegated already, offered virtually nothing, but their keeper Nicky Bull was brilliant to keep the score down. The biggest crowd of the season for Wednesday so far, a record equaling 28 wins in a season, but the only stat and fact that matters is Wednesday are back in the Championship.
So Wednesday know their future. Congratulations to them. What about Barnet? They're still unsure at the moment, but they are clinging on, are they, Ivan Gaskell?
They are, but I have to say they've looked comfortable in this second half. They took the lead on the hour mark, and they really haven't looked like letting it go. In fact, they've looked like they would add to it. Burton seemed to have no answers. 3 minutes of added time has just gone up here. We're into that added time. And just before we leave that particular landmark, let me mention another. 32 years as a professional footballer comes to an end today for the Burton Albion goalkeeping coach and player goalkeeping coach Kevin Poole. 32 years as a professional. Almost as long as Steve Claridge.
Almost as long as Steve Claridge. Let's go back to Crawley's match at Accrington. James Mason, keep us up to date. How many minutes ago to go in that one?
I think we're into time added on now, Dan, as Sergio Torres, the blonde-haired winger for Crawley, goes down in a heap. They look out on their feet. Accrington Stanley, to their credit, are still going for this. Of course, they've got places to play for in League Two. But Crawley Town, wouldn't this be just a wonderful story for the West Sussex club if they can get back-to-back promotions? And we're in literally time added on. Crawley have a throwing on the right. It's going to be over any second, Dan. They lead 1-0.
OK, well, something that has finished in the last few minutes is Stevenage's game at Bury. And good news for Stevenage, Tony Lockwood.
It is, Dan. It's some success story, this. Remember, this Stevenage side have won successive promotions. They are now in the playoffs. They now have an opportunity of a third straight promotion. Chris Beardsley adding a third goal in time added on to complete the scoring. Stevenage finishing with a flourish, a right foot strike. Too powerful visiting keeper Jonathan Bond. Craig Reed with the opener. A Joel Barham penalty made it comfortable. Beardsley with a final word. Stevenage 3, Bury 0.
Full-time whistle has gone at Accrington. What's the news, James Mason?
Crawley Town are promoted to League One for the first time in their history. It's finished Accrington Stanley 0, Crawley Town 1 after a goalless first half. The all-important strike came from the boot of Scott Nielsen, the winger coolly turning inside the box. A goal that will be long remembered by the fans that have made the trip up from Sussex. Interim manager Craig Brewster hugs his staff. Well done to him. The Crawley Town fans, 631 of them, made the trip up. They've made an impromptu entrance onto the pitch. Last season they were playing non-league football. They'll be playing the third tier of English football next season for this forward-thinking, forward-moving club. Yes, I mean, you can't blame the fans and the players joining on the pitch. They were told not to, but how can they not? They have beaten Accrington Stanley 1. They know they had to win. Well done to them. They are promoted to League One.
And let's go to Exeter, where Sheffield United, it's not ended the season they were hoping for. They'll be in the playoffs. Sheffield Wednesday have gone up. Let's get the full time from Hamish Marshall.
Yeah, it finished Exeter 2, Sheffield United 2. Double disappointment for the Blades. They conceded a last-minute goal from Scott Bennett to tie things up at 2-2. Overall, the damage was done in this season over the last 2 weeks when they took just 1 point from 6. They slipped out of the top 2 for the first time since February last week, and that's where they remain when the music stopped here. They've created a record. It's the highest points total not to get automatic promotion. And as you say, they're going to have to pick themselves up now for the playoffs, where they're going to play Stevenage.
Let's go to Hereford Torquay. The latest from Jason Mohammed, who's at Edgar Street this afternoon.
Hereford on the attack, Dan, and that's it. The final whistle has gone here at Edgar Street. They've beaten Torquay United by 3-2. We played 6 minutes of added time. So as it stands, and I understand, listening to Ivan there, that Burton Albion and Barnet are still playing. As it stands, the Hereford players are on the floor. They know that they are going out of the Football League, Dan, right now. But as I say, they've done what they had to do. They've beaten Torquay United. Terrific achievement by 3-2. Everybody in the ground is waiting to hear the news from Burton Albion.
Well, we can tell you that the news from Burton Albion is that Barnet have held on. They have won. Let's get the full-time report from Ivan Gaskell. Delighted scenes on the pitch from the Barnet players and fans.
Absolutely. Martin Allen looks the most relieved man in Britain. He went through agonies in that second half. His face bright red throughout. He looked fit to burst, but he's bursting with pride and relief now because Barnet came out and really played in the second half. You could sense that it meant something, that they knew they had to put in a shift, and they did in the second half. They scored the goal that won the game. Mark Byrne had earlier given them the lead. Burton had equalised through Jack Magoma, and there was a missed penalty from Zola as well, just to add to the intrigue and the drama. But Barnet won it in the end. They held on, and well done to them.
Congratulations to Barnet, another remarkable story. So Barnet staying in League 2, Crewe hoping to get out of League 2. They're in the playoffs. They played Aldershot today, and Steve Lee was at Gresty Road.
Yes, it's just finished. Crewe 2, Aldershot 2. The celebrations have begun in earnest here at Gresty Road. Crewe about to claim that last playoff place in League 2, and after a 15-16 match, I should say, unbeaten run, they've deserved it after a sparkling March and April. A few nerves along the way for these Crewe youngsters. They went off like a train. Leach Smith putting them ahead after only 4 minutes, but then they lost their momentum. The Harry Davis own goal, and then Mark Moses' 25-yarder gave Aldershot the lead, but Luke Murphy took the tension out of the occasion with an equaliser from the edge of the box after 76 minutes. Nearly 7,000 here, the biggest crowd of the season, and it's gone to Crewe, this last playoff position. Crewe 2, Aldershot 2.
So Oxford are the team that miss out today. We've got to talk about Barnet, and they've done it again. You said that it would be an incredible story, Steve. It is an incredible story. How on earth do they keep doing it? How does Martin Allen keep doing it?
Yeah, well, he's been the last two years he's been back there and managed to pull a rabbit out of a hat, so to speak. And
the fact they've done it before, do you think that genuinely that they know they've been there, they know they've done it, they know they can?
No, because it's different players, different stage, different teams that they're playing against. Let's be honest, if Calvin Zola scores the goal, the likelihood is that they would have gone out of it because they would have drawn that game. And I think as well, what it took away from it just took away Burton. Burton sort of fell into a heap after that. And I think Ivan said they offered very, very little second half. So they've had their little bit of luck, which you're going to need, but ultimately just about done enough, haven't they?
It's a heartbreak for Hereford, who, as you mentioned earlier, they've beaten the team in third, they've beaten the team in fourth, and they still go down at the end of the day.
Well, it's a shame, isn't it? But we were all talking about the last game of the season. They should basically try and get themselves in a position where they don't get to the last game of the season and they're not in the position that they had to find themselves in today, which is obviously winning the game. But they did what they had to do, but unfortunately it just wasn't enough for them.
Whether or not change of manager might have come a tad too late. They've struggled all year, so whether or not they've just gone down that path a tad too long, I don't know. But they finished the season well, and we'll see what happens next year now.
And we're watching the scenes at Sheffield Wednesday. There were 38,000. It looks about 35,000 are on the pitch at the moment.
It's incredible, isn't it? I mean, the scenes that they're seeing now. I mean, the players obviously trying to get off the pitch. I think they caught them before they did. But there was one point there when all the fans had came onto the pitch, you couldn't see it at all. There was no green there. It was just a array of blue and white. It was fantastic, and it's great for my old club to get promoted because that's where they deserve to be.
Groundsman actually is now pulling his hair out, trying to get people off the pitch, by the way.
Only charity games to go. Just a quick reminder that there's a special edition of Final Score for you tomorrow, covering every single kick in the Premier League, and another show next Sunday as well, when the title will be decided. Right, it's been a busy one. Let's get the full classified results for you now with Mike West.
And first, the Barclays Premier League. Just one game today. It finished Arsenal 3, Norwich City 3. In the Empire League 1, AFC Bournemouth 1, Preston North End 0. Charlton Athletic 3, Hartlepool United 2. Chesterfield 2, Brentford 3. Exeter City 2, Sheffield United 2. Huddersfield Town 2, Yeovil Town 0. Leyton Orient 2, Rochdale 1. Milton Keynes Dons 0, Walsall 1. Notts County 4, Colchester United 1. Oldham Athletic 2, Carlisle United 1. Sheffield Wednesday 2, Wycombe Wanderers 0. Stevenage 3, Bury 0. And Tranmere Rovers 1, Scunthorpe United 1. On to the Empire League 2, Accrington Stanley 0, Crawley Town 1. AFC Wimbledon 3, Shrewsbury Town 1. Bradford City 0, Swindon Town 0. Burton Albion 1, Barnet 2. Crewe Alexandra 2, Aldershot Town 2. Dagenham and Redbridge 4, Bristol Rovers 0. Gillingham 2, Morecambe 0. Hereford United 3, Torquay United 2. Plymouth Argyle 1, Cheltenham Town 2. Port Vale 3, Oxford United 0. Rotherham United 1, Northampton Town 1. And Southend United 2, Macclesfield Town 0. Into Scotland and the Clydesdale Bank Scottish Premier League, Kilmarnock 1, Aberdeen 1. Rangers 0, Motherwell 0. And St Mirren 0, Inverness Caledonian Thistle 1. The Irn-Bru Scottish Division 1, Dundee 1, Livingston 0. Falkirk 3, Ayr United 2. Greenock Morton 1, Wraith Rovers 3. Hamilton Academical 2, Partick Thistle 2. And Queen of the South 3, Ross County 5. The Scottish Division 2, Albion Rovers 1, Stirling Albion 2. Cowdenbeath 0, Airdrie United 0. Dumbarton 4, Brechin City 2. East Fife 1, Arbroath 3. And Stenhousemuir 1, Forfar Athletic 2. The Scottish Division 3, Alloa Athletic 1, Annan Athletic 1. Berwick Rangers 1, Stranraer 0. Montrose 5, Clyde 0. Peterhead 2, East Stirlingshire 0. And Queen's Park 1, Elgin City 3. And the Welsh Cup final, Kevin Druids 0, the New Saints 2.
Well, let's have a look at how all that affects the table, starting with the Barclays Premier League. Remember, most of the games taking place tomorrow. Arsenal stay third, but miss out on the chance to pull clear in the race for automatic Champions League football next season. Tottenham and Newcastle both now have the opportunity to leapfrog the Gunners tomorrow. At the very top, Manchester City, Leeds United on goal difference, 2 games left for both of those two. At the bottom, Norwich rise up to 13th place with that point they got at the Emirates, climbing above Stoke on goals scored. Blackburn can join Wolves in relegation on Monday night. That's if results go against them. We know about the Championship already, so in League One, Sheffield Wednesday join the champions Charlton in promotion to the Championship. But look at that, Charlton, 101 points. They got the ton up today. The Owls held their nerve to see off Wycombe and in a 2-year stay in the third tier of English football. Sheffield United could only draw. They finished 3 points adrift of their city rivals. They will compete in the playoffs against Huddersfield, the MK Dons and Stevenage, who made it there today with a victory. At the bottom, the relegation places to League Two. We knew those already. All 4 of those sides were already relegated. Exeter were the only one of 4 not to lose, but they remain 23rd. They are joined by Wycombe, Chesterfield and Rochdale as the sides will be playing in League 2 next season. That's where we go next, because the top of League 2, Crawley, left it very late. A victory at Accrington secures a second straight promotion for the Reds. They join the champions Swindon and Shrewsbury, neither who won this afternoon in promotion to League 1. Southend miss out on promotion by a single point and head to the playoff alongside Torquay, Cheltenham and Crewe. And at the bottom, Hereford are relegated from the Football League despite winning for the second successive week against a side near the top as well. That's because nearest rivals Barnet also won to pull off another dramatic escape. Hereford will join already relegated Macclesfield in the Blue Square next season. And in the SPL, Rangers stay 8 points clear of Motherwell after that draw, but it's Motherwell who will play in the Champions League qualifiers due to Rangers' financial problems. And at the bottom, Dunfermline will be relegated if they lose at Hibs on Monday. Well, those are the tables. Let's get today's headlines for you now. We'll start at the Emirates, where Steve Morrison's late equaliser saw the Gunners drop points in the battle for the Champions League places. Robin van Persie netted twice for the home side, but Bakary Sagna was lost to a broken leg, and Arsene Wenger was not a happy man at the end. Congratulations to Sheffield Wednesday. Those are the post-match scenes at Hillsborough. They're promoted to the Championship after beating Wycombe. Michael Antonio and Niall Range are the goal scorers this afternoon for the Owls. Their Steel City rivals will have to settle for a playoff spot. A late equaliser cost them victory, although Wednesday's win means it didn't really make a difference. So it's Sheffield United who will be one of the 4 teams in the League One playoffs. Scott Nielsen's strike means Crawley's first season in the Football League ends with promotion. They pip Southend to the 3rd spot in League One. At the other end of the table, remarkable story for Barnet, who survived yet again on the final day. It's Mark Hughes who got the winner for them this afternoon. And commiserations to Hereford, who are relegated despite beating Torquay today, adding to their victory over Crawley last week. They must regroup now, Torquay, for the playoffs in League 2. And you can see how it all unfolded tonight in the Football League show with Manish at 5 to midnight, where the featured match will be Sheffield Wednesday's win over Wycombe this afternoon. And final score tomorrow is on BBC One from 3:30. All the Premier League matches that matter for you. News as it happens, that's from 3:30 on BBC One. And you can see all the action with Gary and the gang on Match of the Day. That's tomorrow night at 10:25. Michael, we talked to Steve about Sheffield Wednesday earlier, but you've had a rather broad smile on your face. Just try and sum it up what it means for not only the fans, but for the city of Sheffield to have a team back in one of the top 2 divisions, because it is a huge footballing city. To have 2 teams out, no teams in the top 2 divisions, it's just a bit silly really for a city of that size.
Well, it is, and again, I mean, you're looking at the crowd today, that's over 38,000 today, it just shows you, and they shouldn't really be in the 3rd tier, but the club's been in a slump for the last 5 or 6 years, and that's why they found themselves where they are. And I'd like to see Sheffield United get promoted, I really would, out the playoffs, because the Steel City derby is something special to play in, but they've got 92 points, Sheffield United, and they got promoted in the top 2. So you've got to give them credit for the season they've had. Just, I think, the last few weeks, I think it's been off-field antics rather than the performances on the pitch.
Yeah, you can't argue 92 points, yeah, but 28 wins this season for Sheffield Wednesday. 90 points. And let's have a look at the goals from today's game. Antonio and Ranger with the goals for Sheffield Wednesday. And it was never really too uncomfortable for them today, Steve.
No, absolutely. I mean, there was a lot of chances in this game for Sheffield Wednesday. He's big and he's strong, Antonio, and he gets in between the 2 centre-halves, nicks it round the keeper, and that's just what they required at that stage. You know, maybe a little bit of nerves coming, but he settled them, and they dominated right from the very off. And this...
He'd already had a goal disallowed, Ranger.
This is poetic justice, because he scored a goal just before that, which was a perfectly legitimate goal ruled out. Well, there you go. There you get just desserts, don't you?
And going up into League One is Crawley. This is Scott Nielsen's winner, which came in the second half. And again, it was one of those where Crawley had a lot of pressure. They just needed a goal, Michael.
Well, that's it. It's difficult to get the ball in the back of the net. You know what's at stake. And to be honest with you, it's a fantastic finish in the end. I mean, they had some good chances, but good turn. And he's found the bottom of the net. It was a brilliant finish.
And this is the action from Burton against Barnet. Barnet's at the lead early through Mark Byrne. One of those heftily deflected free kicks, but who cares at that time of the game?
You need your bit of luck, and if it goes against you, then who knows? I mean, you're looking at this, you think Burton have come back in now, and at this stage,
to make it 1-1.
Burton were playing quite well. Now, this was a very, very even game. This is the turning point. There's no doubt about that. Calvin Zola gets bundled over.
Now, if this goes in, Barnet are
Barnet
are down.
Yeah, I mean, they're 2 goals away from safety. So psychologically, just before half-time, over it goes. And all of a sudden, you go in, and from being 2-1 down, you're 1-1, and you've got a great chance.
And Mark Hughes seals another season in the Football League for Barnet.
Incredible, yeah. I mean, that's it. They've done it 3 years in a row now. Fantastic. And again, Steve talking about the penalty miss. Momentum was with them in the second half, and they got there.
OK, well, before we retire, may we point you in the direction of this?
I haven't retired. I don't even think the word.
What happens when top sports stars retire?
I've done pretty much everything I said that I would absolutely wouldn't do.
How do they handle it?
I don't miss it. Maybe because I don't feel unfulfilled.
What do they do next?
I still have moments where I just go, I have a baby. Oh my God, what am I doing?
I think I'll be sitting there at 70 years old thinking, I got one more fight.
Join me, Michael Vaughan, for Sporting Heroes After the Final Whistle on Wednesday at 10:45 on BBC One.
Something to look forward to next week. Before we go, we'll just show you this closing shot of the day. It comes from Hillsborough in the dressing room. Look at that, Sheffield Wednesday celebrating. That's what it means. Dave Jones has taken over, 14 unbeaten to the end of the season, and they will be playing in the Championship next season. So congratulations to Sheffield Wednesday. We also say well done to Crawley and to Barnet, who've stayed up, and commiserations to Hereford, who go down today and will be playing in the non-league next season. Thank you very much for watching this afternoon. Thanks to Michael and to Steve. From all of us here at Final Score, congratulations to Sheffield Wednesday. Goodbye.